Hey dudes, it's your friend, the Reverend Pirate Frog. Come join me in the circle with my bearded brother, Howlingbuds, the poet laureate himself, Stoney Alpinist, and of course, the better half of Frapple and my friend, Johnny Apple. Pass to the left and let's have some fucking fun. Short term for certain areas. This isn't a good talk, Johnny. I had the actual conversation I wanted to start, but anywho's will be. Welcome to the circle, where we record people without their permission. Johnny, how you doing?
Why start with me because I'm the guy who press record?
Yeah, that was pretty slick. Slicker than snot.
Well, here's the problem is we sit here in pre-show and we literally do. There's gold during our pre-show. Half the fucking time it's like.
But 90% of the stuff I talk about pre-show, I don't want to be on the show because all I do is motherfuck people, right? I'm calling out everybody and their mother. And I
if
just
we're
don't
gonna
want that over the air.
If we're gonna motherfuck the real green monster for quitting the cultivation conversation, we can do it live on air. Fuck you, dude. You quit. You fucking suck. There, I said it. Real green monster, come back. You suck. There, so we can cocksucker him on. Just kidding. We had nothing to do with
introducing yourself. Howling, how are you today?
I'm doing all right.
That's good, Stoney.
Damn happy.
Well, what a nice one, Johnny. Take note. And quite frankly, one of my dear friends and the sponsor of Your Average Grow. Kidding, of course, my good friend Alebrije. Thank you for joining us yet again.
Yo, happy to be here always. I had to go check earlier today that this is I think my eighth time.
That's got to be number one overall.
I hope so.
I can't imagine we've ever had anyone like
you
this
hope
8
so,
times.
But then you joined another podcast for your last
9.
drop.
I'm a friend of all the community. A friend of all the community.
Spreading the wealth.
It's a great community. I love it. I'm glad to have you here, man. I think a lot of people, should we just get it right out of the fucking air? Let's talk about September right off the fucking bat. Can we?
Let's go.
No, we're forbidden from talking about September. All the tickets been sold out, which is amazing. Congratulations.
That's fucking awesome. So let's what happened in California? How many did you start to sell in California?
150. There was 150 of us. It was no one's ever going to top it. It was the best party of all time. Like all West Coast ventures.
Yeah, we've quickly topped it. Now, I listed like 30 tickets for LA, and I think we ended up selling like right at 25 of them, maybe 24 or something. We had just over 25 people actually come, I think. So this one was 50, and it sold out within 24 hours, and so it's going to be a significantly bigger beast, double the size. So I'm personally a little intimidated. I felt like I was on hosting duties in LA a lot, and catering to a crowd of 50 makes me a little nervous.
I mean, it's literally your shit, dude.
The next day, Flam asked me if we had staff working. I was like, oh shit, no, I didn't even think about that. I don't think so. We're just gonna try to roll with it.
We'll just self-regulate, dude. Yeah. We'll send Howling up, and he'll be like, I've seen you. You've had too much pizza. Get the fuck out of here. Real Chicago, like.
Howling's on pizza security for sure.
Damn straight.
Absolutely. He'll be counting, be like, you had 15 pepperoni on that last slice, bro. You got to take one with less. We are, of course, that stingy. No, but it is super exciting. Anybody who bought a ticket that's nervous, don't be. Everybody gets along and has a great time. Judas has been doing finger workouts, so he'll be ready. We got a regime. We've got
that's
a
for you,
kitty
cat. Get your fingers ready, kitty cat.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be
cranking out some joints.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blast. And I was curious after the first one. Obviously, you wanted to do another one, which means
that was the second one. California was the second.
Yeah,
first official.
No, Richmond, Virginia, and when was that?
Yeah, you were the class.
That was our. I mean, it was a pop-up drop. It evolved quickly, and that's what I'm excited about for this one. Is every time I'm like, I see things I don't like about it, or something.
That's where I was going.
I want to.
What did you want to do differently after the first one? What were you like? All right.
So the first one, The first one it was the sticky Sapolio drop, and we were like actually selling the packs there. We had like 50 or 60 packs or something, and so you literally had to come and physically buy it there, and it was cool. But then there were like a bunch of people like Joe's Canagro and Grateful and a bunch of other guys I knew from online, and I wanted to just be like hanging out and smoking with them, but we were like back over like kind of working our table and selling the packs, and I was getting a lot of questions, and it was just a little chaotic. And then I gave a class on Autoflowers 101, and I'm a horrible public speaker, so that wasn't that fun
That's
for
our
me.
job.
Yeah.
Job.
So anyway, the first thing I was like, all right, cut the class. We're not doing that anymore. Like I'm just not into public speaking. And then the second was like, I wanted to just hang out. I wanted it to be more of like a party setting. So what if the pack, I still wanted it to be a seed drop. But I was like, what if it's more like a party, and like we pre-sell the tickets, and we do the packs are there in little gift bags at the party. And so that's what we did last year for LA. It went great. Again, it was a small crowd. We never have done it before. And my following on the West Coast, besides you, Rev, and a handful of others, is smaller. I think I have a lot more Midwest, and honestly Northeast is kind of like the hot zones for, I'd say, a large portion of our community, honestly.
Well,
Yeah, it's. I think I can only think of a couple people that in the West Coast that I really, really hang out with. Anyway, it is unfortunate that I have to travel so far to see my lovely friends, because it would be so much nicer if they were closer, of course. But 50 is going to be a
lot of them. Yeah, man, you're going to get to hit all of them, man.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I want to interject for a second. I think a lot of that has to do with California, and the West Coast has been a legal state for a lot longer. And I think a lot of this is the East Coast and the Midwest is starting to become more legal. And then Autoflowers making a bigger pop, I think. So when you were talking about your following specifically, it's probably related specifically to Autoflowers. And I picture that towards the new culture, towards getting into this. And whereas the West Coast, they've been through their shit. They're like, they're like, we've been through this whole thing. They've got their fucking strains. They've got their cultivars. They've got their moms. They've got their history behind it. So they're kind of like, you bitches are old fucking news at this point. I think kind of it. This is why if you look at our numbers and who listens to this podcast, even it's very similar to what you're talking about. Your following is. Our following is very much fucking mid-central and East Coast shit. And I think a lot of that might have to do with the legality coming to the States in general, and like the hype of it all. Like we're all excited as this is new and fucking, yeah. That was just my interjection.
Interesting. Go ahead, yeah, because even if you look at the far West Coast, and even like down into Arizona, you can go to social clubs, and there are a lot of events and that sort of thing. Those are new events in the Midwest that are coming up in these states, and whether it's dispensaries or there's even in Chicago, there's a couple small, call them like a catering company in effect, that does cannabis. And they, specialize in doing events and all these sorts of things with it. There's more and more of these little pop-ups that come, and they're starting to get more a part of the culture. So I think what you've done here is tapped into, well, number one, it's the Central Coast. So you're able to pull from Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, and we've got folks,
Minnesota too, right? Yeah.
No Central Coast. There is no Central Coast.
The Central Coast, man, call it what you will, but just geolocation too, because a lot of people are driving. I think that's the one thing that's like really connected with me in all of this, is like how far people are going to be coming to Chicago to do this. And we're all going to come together as a community over the weekend. And I know people will be traveling in from far, far distances down and away, and they're all connecting. And it's just like, there's something really cool and magical about that.
I'm really glad you're excited and stoked, because afterwards, after we leave, I don't think you're going to be so happy with all of us.
Yeah. I may have to rip up your guys' place.
But, No, you told me there was a bonfire pit, and there's going to be some bonfires.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah, there is.
So when you,
honestly, yeah, you're spot on, Johnny. Like not just the pop-up, but like my sales traditionally, I get very few sales from like the classic legal states: Colorado, California, Washington State, Oregon. Those are all like I'm definitely getting way more from Ohio, Minnesota, Illinois, New York, etc. Like definitely East Coast, Central Coast is kind of adopting the autoflower wave. Not obviously California too, but again, there's so many breeders that's got such a much longer history and legacy in those states that as I've been doing this now 6 years. I've been breeding autoflowers, but only selling for the last 3 or so.
And literally, that's like a fucking drop in the fucking 5-gallon bucket of water.
Literally. Yeah, that's like such small history in the grand scheme of things.
That ties back into that fucking Todd McCormick bullshit. It's like move or get fucking mowed over. Literally is what's happening. So you're doing great shit with your fucking with what you're doing with the plant, where you're providing more opportunity for people in our area. I don't have California's weather. I can't grow outdoors full season. And it costs me a fortune to do it indoors. What you're providing is an opportunity for people in the area you're talking about, the market you're talking about, to grow. Period. Indoors, outdoors, it doesn't matter. You're providing genetics for people in our area, in my area, in our area, in Stoney's area, and how to grow outdoors and have medicine harvestable that is not going to rot by the time Croptober comes around.
No, totally. I'm glad you brought up the Todd McCormick. That was something we were laughing about, obviously, in Discord and things. But I know in the Daz episode recently, Howling was talking about our little collab project that we had talked about, and I wanted to clarify that Howling and I had discussed doing the Purist Indica and NL5 with the Salmoso and converting them to auto months before Todd McCormick ever came into the picture and talked. It had nothing. It wasn't out of spite, or it had nothing to do with him not thinking autos were of good quality. We wanted to do it because we wanted to make the broadest broadleaf we possibly could in auto form. And you're gonna call your strain Purist Indica. It's Northern Lights #1. It's about as indica as we can find. So that's the reason. And neither Howling nor I, to address another point in breeding, neither Howling nor I have ever grown out that strain. So it's 100% experimental project. But again, it'll never get released until it's been thoroughly tested, and we enjoy what we created. If that weren't to be the case, it would never hit the market. So that's just a little of my breeding philosophy. I think it's great to have goals and things, but it doesn't always have to be something you're super familiar with. You can trust what others have said about this plant or this strain, and generally speaking, we all have different endocannabinoid systems, but there's a general trend. The
general
broadly
consensus. Yeah.
I watched you guys talk about doing that for quite a while, like you said, and one thing that it stands out to me is you were taking him for his word, and almost hey man, if what you say is, if we get what you say it is, then obviously this is great stuff we want to pass on, which to me would be considered an honor. If somebody wants to do something and transform something I've created into something else to make it more digestible by larger amounts of people, isn't that kind of cool? Isn't the whole point of the plant
honoring, dude?
Yeah.
It just seems to me that instead of seeing something as common sense and being honored, you take it to a negative spot. But needless to say, there's no spite in your work. It was something that was born out of hell. If this is what you say it is, this is exactly what we want, then we are stoked to do it, which again, just be stoked to have in your life, man.
Yeah, and we're not in any rush to make it. I think Howling is gonna hold off for a while. This is just we talk about things, and it's cool to think about what strains you might want to make theoretically. That's what you want to have some intention and goals.
Well, yeah, the dude has a great story. If you believe, listen, I mean, all right, I hate to keep shitting on the fucking dude, but I'm gonna keep shitting on him. All he is a clout chaser at this point. He keeps name dropping all these fucking names like Jack Herrera and fucking Joe Rogan and all his, like, all right, dude, you can clout chase all you fucking want. None of that shit matters. If you are gonna talk about and preach literally as being a proponent for the fucking plant, the goal should be to get this plant's medicine into every person you can possibly get. And he's just like, he wasn't doing that. So like, I hate to beat a dead fucking horse, but like his story is great, right? So his story is great. If you believe his fucking story, right? Like he drops Skunk Man Sam. He name drops like a motherfucker. Congratulations, Todd McFucking fake fucking suck a dick. I don't give a shit about the names you're fucking dropping. Your story is cool. Here's the thing. Humans have the ability to manipulate the world around us better than any other being on this fucking planet. And what we have done our entire fucking existence is manipulated the fucking existence around us to be better for us. So for you to say, I'm a proponent for this plant and then fucking argue that getting this plant in hands is stupid by getting hemp, like getting hemp out of it, bitch, it is hemp. It is all fucking, it's all the same. Like it's hops. It's fucking cannabis. It's fucking literally, it's been bred to be what the fuck it is for our benefit. So shut the fuck up and let us do what the fuck we're going to do with the thing, because that's how humans have always existed.
Yeah.
We've taken the fucking broccoli plant or the cabbage plant or the whatever the fuck you want to call it and turned it into at least half a dozen that I can brassica, exactly. Stoney, help me out here. Alebrije, help me out here.
It's
brassica fan.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
just different parts of the flower and leaf that we've basically bred to do certain things.
The same fucking plant doing different fucking purposes, right? Making it more available to everybody for different purposes. Like it's just a ridiculous fucking argument. And
there's so many types of users and growers and ways to consume, and everyone isn't going to be the same, and everyone can just find their own little niche and what works for them. And
I think there's a couple different artisan or craftsman's approach to things. Think of it like this. If you're a painter, and you create a painting and that's something that you make, you don't want anyone to copy that. You don't want it to be made. You want people to just appreciate that painting, right? Same level of craftsman can be a same level of artisan, can be the person who makes the paint, right? And so if you make the paint, you have to be able to open yourself to whatever that paint is used to create, because you don't know. And so if you look at it from a perspective of
this dude nailed it.
Right. It's really, you can still be an artisan and a craftsman. It doesn't separate you from it. It's really in your approach. Are you selling the final painting that you only want people to pay to look at? Or, and to me, and people differ, but to me, there is no greater than or less than between those two artisans or craftsmen.
Do you say take the wood out of the sawmill because the sawmill used different types of wood to build the fucking house? I mean, no, you don't. You put whatever type of wood it takes to build that fucking structure to get that house done, whether it's pine, whether it's fucking oak, right? You don't fucking blame the sawmill for introducing a new type of wood to the fucking process. The process is whatever it is in order to get to the end goal. And the end goal should be to get this medicine in more people. We have cannabinoid receptors, excuse my fucking tongue. We have cannabinoid receptors for a reason.
We'd have more understanding of those reasons if the government didn't block research for, such silly reasons. But let's get onto a positive subject and off of the negative. We're all preaching to the choir here.
No greater than or less than.
I think that's a brilliant point, Stoney. I wanted to leave on that.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Also, this community gets very cliquey sometimes because you get people fighting over organic or salts, and it can be pretty funny. So you just gotta move past it. Having said that, any way Howling grows is less than the way I grow, and I'm willing to die on that fucking hill. No, but that was one of the many things that Alebrije wanted to correct the record for. He totally hates Yag for saying it, and no, I'm just kidding. I didn't intend to do that, obviously. I think with the notion that we now understand, it makes more sense. But there was a couple other things that we wanted to talk about before you go on this wonderful vacation. Where are you going this year, by the way?
We're heading to Greece for 2 weeks. Leaving on Wednesday, so I guess when this airs, I will be in Greece. On the island of Milos. Yeah.
Oh man.
Just gonna go crush some food and swim in some pretty water and see some historic ruins and
nice.
Just chill.
I very look forward to the experience that you have, because it always kind of shapes your future in what you produce. Sometimes it's the terps that you want to find in cannabis and bring forward to, but I'm very interested. I wonder if we'll soon be getting you trying to find the lamb. Like, I really want that lamb euro. Like,
I get that lamb terps.
Well, these things are every time you go on a trip, it does extremely inspire you, right? And you've written. I hope you're going to journal and share some of your travel journals again, like you did last year in the zine, because I think that'd be super cool, man.
I definitely will. I'll definitely do a little travel story in the zine. It's also going to be kind of it's sort of a weird year politically. So this is also going to be sort of our Save the Paras trip of the year. Apparently, Greece has a fair amount of street cats and a few dogs. So I think we're going to try and be feeding some cats and dogs on the way. My wife was going to go to Mexico on her own this summer and was going to do Save the Paras then. I have stuff going on in the garden and some breeding projects I was going to be working on this summer, but now the whole green card traveling thing, we just don't think it's the greatest idea for her to go alone. But so this is going to kind of be a little Save the Paras mission as well on the side.
Awesome.
You keep that site open all the time. Your donate to the Paras, Save the Paras. You keep that open 100% of the time. Just before we even get to the shout outs, you keep that big cartel option open all the time. So anybody listening, go to the Alebrije site, the big cartels, Save the Paras, man. Anytime you got an extra fucking $5, just do it, man.
Well, I appreciate that, and honestly, I wish we could do more. I like it to be a more hands-on thing. Last year, it was just donating to some of the shelters that were kind of affected by Hurricane Helene. But again, I wanted it to be hands-on in Mexico this year. I'm afraid it's not going to be, but at least we'll probably donate to some other shelters or find some other charity to support. Maybe it'd be nice to find something specifically in Mexico. Cool. But we're gonna supplement with some Greece, feeding some Greek pups.
There you go. I was gonna say it's better to be safe than sorry for sure. I think we can find alternatives, I'm sure. But what are some of the most exciting things you're doing in Greece that you're really looking forward to? Because now I'm just excited about Greece.
This is like my travel journal.
What's something you don't have to go into it. You can just give me one. I've
got a couple that I'm really excited for that are kind of interesting. Before we're going down to the islands, we're going up into the mountains on mainland Greece to this town called Meteora, where it's these huge stone pillars basically coming out of the mountains, and on top of them, carved directly into the mountains, there were once 20 of them. I think there's only 7 or 8 left, are these monasteries. And when you look from the distance, it all looks like they're floating in the mountains. It looks insane. And that's just, I've only seen pictures and videos on YouTube and stuff, but it's one of those things you can tell in person, it probably is way more impressive. So that's one thing I'm pretty stoked on.
Oh yeah.
And then the other is like several of the beaches we're gonna see in Crete just look ridiculous. They look like, you know, a level out of Mario Kart or something. It's just like these crazy like sand walkways through these various, you know, crystal clear turquoise lagoons and things. But this one in particular, I'm really
mofo in Chicago.
I was gonna say our next fucking pop-up needs to be in like Egypt so we can all see the fucking pyramids.
I like that. But so my wife's not a big fan of being in the sun, and especially like all day. So
is she also a ginger?
No, she's from Mexico. She doesn't like getting very dark.
What? That does not make any sense at all.
I tell her everyone wants the color of your skin. You know, I'm over here like pale as can be. It would kill for your beautiful olive skin.
I know, just so I'd stop getting sunburnt, dude. It would be nice to not have to every time I go outside and go shit. That hurts.
So I'm gonna do this one day it's like a full day boat trip out to this beach, Balas, that looks insane. But like on the way, you stop at this other island and there's like a shipwreck, and you've got a few hours where you can just go like snorkeling through the shipwreck. And I've never seen a shipwreck in real life, so I'm pretty stoked to do that.
They're eerie sometimes, at least I've found in my experience.
Yeah, this one's like, it's not that deep, so I don't think it was like a cement tanker in the 60s, like during a bad storm, just went down, and they were like right next to this island. So it's just like, it's not that far offshore, and it's not that deep. So it looks fun to just like, but yeah, I bet they can be pretty eerie. Fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's a couple of places, like there's a few that I've dove, and then there's been a couple that I snorkeled and like free dove, and it's really cool. But like I get eerie in things underwater, like man-made. I just get weird about it. I don't know why. It's just like, oh yeah, that could be something. You know what I mean? So
do you do any scuba diving?
Any
like you're snorkeling or scuba snorkeling?
I'm just gonna be snorkeling. I don't know who you're asking, but
either one of you. I don't.
I've never.
Typically, I was asking Rev because he's normally near the ocean, so I wasn't sure.
Yes, with both. But I have not dove in a long time.
I'm a no to the scuba, but yeah, I've been snorkeling many places.
Snorkeling is wonderful. It's probably one of the coolest things to do.
So
get to see rad shit underwater.
Snorkeling, you can kind of take a mask and you got a tube up through the water and you kind of swim around. But scuba diving, you've got an oxygen tank and it's a little bit more, right? It's a little bit more. Like, do you have to be licensed for all that shit? I think
certified.
You do, right?
Yes, you
certified.
do. Yeah. And then there's you're certified to certain depths, and like if you want to do deeper dives and stuff like that, you have to do additional certification. One of the super negatives about scuba diving, especially because like some of the places I really wanted to check out were off the coast of Catalina and stuff like that, like really somewhat deeper dives, but you can get the bends, which sucks if you surface too quickly. And my personality isn't the type where I want to be down underwater for like ever.
Yeah.
So I would definitely in my life probably rush too fast and look it up.
Yeah, to just like float like 30, 40 feet there for like a good hour or so. Just to like
slowly decompress, especially like some of the really gnarly deep dives, dude. They're going down with a full tank, get halfway and then come back out. Like there's a reason why some of the best paid people in the world are deep sea fucking welders, man. Like that's a gnarly thing to do. But yes, great. Scuba's rad because you can just free dive, right? And cruise around.
Yeah, way easier for sure.
Yeah.
I'm way too claustrophobic for any of that shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why snorkeling you'd be cool with, because unless you're a complete dumbass, you generally don't free dive and go into structures and shit. Like, Stoney would be the kind of person who's like, I'm trying to break a record.
No, I would be like, oh, I'm going to go see that. That looks pretty fucking cool.
Oh, you check it out.
Way over my head.
Just don't go indoors,
Jesus, no, thank you, man.
Get discombobulated. I've seen videos of people dive in some of those lakes up by you people, man, and that looks like pure terror. Like
lakes,
0%
not oceans,
visibility.
right? Lakes, not oceans.
Still, dude, 0% visibility. Fuck that.
Yeah, dude, like a good 12, 14 inches muck and goo at the bottom of it.
We're talking, mind you, this is all spawned off of talking about one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Greece.
I know. Let's go back to that before we get into
Well,
some cannabis.
No,
It ain't Lake Michigan. You can look forward to coming back to the Central Coast and make it to Lake Michigan. Man.
Are you gonna surf? Are you gonna surf Lake Michigan, Rev?
No, I was gonna ask, is there a place to swim in Chicago? Like, do you go into the lake? I was just curious. It's like, no.
Yeah, you go. No, there's a beach. There's full
a
beach
right near there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's okay. I'm sorry. It's by a giant city. I don't generally think like I'm gonna go into a lake by a giant city. It's
Padre. Just so you understand, they say beachfront, but they imported the sand.
It's still a beach, dude. Still a beach. It's
just because you
import sand. Is it typical to be like, I'm going down to the city to dive into the lake for the afternoon? Like, do you go really kayaking on it and shit?
No, there's a full-on beach, and it's pretty well protected, and people go and sun, and it's like a full beach activities. But then there's like,
okay, I know people do things all the time. It doesn't mean that this thing is real or it's a thing to do, right?
And then you can go
either way.
Rocks.
The best part of all of this is only one of us is from the South, which really sucks. So, I mean, at least four of the five of us can fucking live happy lives with a smile on their face.
Hey, fuck you guys.
What is the temperature of the lake in, say, September?
It's really nice. I mean, I can't tell you but exact temperatures because I'm not OSHA, or NOAA.
OSHA?
No,
I don't think OSHA. I don't think OSHA is out there going, you know what, you goddamn fish. I guess what, you fucking stupid goddamn tilapia. You need to put that fucking safety belt on and tie yourself off a little better. I'll tell you that much, you stupid fish.
I just Googled really quick. It's 60 to 70
you Googled
degrees
OSHA?
in September.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's pretty nice. Yeah,
that's really nice.
As long as you get if you get a good September sunny day, it won't be bad at all.
We're going the first
warmer
weekend
than the Pacific. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna be fun. We did get off track, but we're gonna do wonderful things that week. I'm there for the whole weekend, I think. Whatever, of course, one of my hosts will allow.
We just booked our tickets. I think we're coming in on I think like Thursday night. I think we're leaving Monday morning.
Right on. I was thinking that too, but like I said, I'm at the beck and call of those others. So
me and my car.
What is?
Excuse me, I don't know.
You and your Colt.
Listen, I just underwent surgery, so this is like the first I've been upright and happy in 5.
They removed all the kindness.
Days. Yes, exactly. So no, but me and my car full of fucking degens are leaving Friday morning-ish. I think they're gonna head here from Iztig and Grateful are heading here from Connecticut. They're gonna pick up fucking Nerd from Schenectady on the way, and fucking we're gonna head to Chicago Friday morning, afternoonish. So
how long of a drive are you guys doing?
Yeah, from my house, it's 11.
Oh, that's not too bad. I mean, that's a good long haul, but I mean,
it's got a bunch of people to take turns too.
Yeah,
that helps.
And it's exactly. It was like, you know what? Let's fucking carpool it. That way, we can break it up. We'll have more fun instead of falling asleep on the fucking way. Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be more fun than the pop up itself.
Yeah.
Probably. No offense to you.
I'm kidding. No, I'm sure, dude. 4 of y'all in a car will be a blast.
One thought is, if I drove 11 hours north, I would still be in California, which is heartbreaking. But the other thing I wanted to ask is, Alebrije, are you going to be the ref when we take on Grateful Nerd? Because I got to shank one of those motherfuckers.
I'm totally expecting that scene out of
Anchorman.
Anchorman, yeah, all the different crews rolling for a big street fight, bearing different weapons.
Well, it's technically a safe spot because we're celebrating Yag's 3rd birthday, so they can't attack us on our birthday, man.
Yeah, come on,
that's uncouth.
Right.
Anyone wearing one of the Alebrije Yag shirts is safe bet. Anyone not, you punch that fucker in the throat.
Target.
And
dude, we do want to talk about that. Thank you for that, man. I
was just gonna say a big shout out to everyone that grabbed one. I think we ended up selling like 37 of them.
Wow,
Holy
dude.
smokes.
That was solid. Yeah, I've got
I
to
was
figure
not
out.
expecting that.
I've got to figure out what I owe you guys in profits. I just got to see what
This episode is obviously sponsored by Daz
Well, you know,
Yeah.
it is funny since we're talking
Sponsored by Grateful
financials
Nerd.
a little bit.
This episode is sponsored by Grateful Nerd.
It'll go perfectly because Johnny sent me a message the other day and he's like, "Hey, StreamYard, which we used to do streaming, they charged my credit card like $500 fucking dollars." And it was like, whoa, what? Our pot, yeah, because it was on the yearly, dude. So it was.
Damn. Well, I think this is gonna more than cover that. So yeah, thanks everybody in the community.
Yeah,
we
thank you
paid
for
for a
allowing us
year's
a
worth
year
of
streaming
service for YAG. Fuck yeah, that makes me
I
feel
will
really
say-
good. Actually.
Thank you.
Since you brought it up, Padre, I will take the opportunity to say, YAG operates at a loss. I know
On
all
purpose.
of us does. Stoney does, Howling does, Rev does, Johnny does, and Alebrije does. Because he
Yes.
absolutely, we joke about it, but he is a fucking huge contributor to this show. If he didn't fucking give a fuck about us, nobody would. So thank you to all of you guys. But we operate at a loss, and it is expensive. And when that hit me, it hit me at a time
It was a bad day.
It was a bad day. So it did fucking hurt but yeah,
There is a method to our madness. The whole reason we do it, and the only reason we do it, is because we want people to get into this hobby, and we were sick and tired of people feeling like they had to spend a bunch of money to fucking hang out with a bunch of idiots that will tell them to do a bunch of dumb shit, right? It's
or
just
buy
a
a
hobby
bunch
to
of
grow
shit
your own
they don't
medicine.
fucking need.
So we happily operate at a loss. We joke all the time about sponsors, but we don't do that shit for a reason, because our word matters to us, surprisingly. It
But
shouldn't.
It's become so much more than that, though. It's become like a good group of friends who feel like they've been your buddies since high school, and that you can just shoot the shit with any day, hop on Discord or whatever. And, they're spread across the entire country. It's like I've got a full network of friends across the entire country just through not only YAG, but, the group of community podcasts.
The Caniverse.
Yeah, our
Caniverse, man, that's what it's been.
But we're like a niche little verse inside the mega multiverse, that is the cannabis world. But then there's this group of autoflower growers, primarily. Primarily.
Pump your fucking brakes, pal.
Besides all our photo period haters like Howling and Johnny and
I love you. I'm just fucking kidding.
Nah, I do think autoflowers are very much at the root and core of our community. I think they're what sort of all brought us all together, and what distinguishes our community from, the greater cannabis community, which is very much focused on traditional photo periods. And there's got to be other little autoflower communities floating around out there I'm not even aware of, I'm sure. But
you'll find us.
I feel like I know, a good handful of people, among these 5 or 6 podcasts and YouTubes and, Discords and Instagram. You kind of just meet everybody, and yeah, seriously, the coolest thing. I never expected that, 5 or 6 years ago, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I'm constantly when asked about it or any praise is put on me, I can only be reminded to say that we just really have cool friends. We just have badass friends, so it's really cool because we get to talk to people and be like, tell us about how cool you are. Sweet. It's like riding their coattails, man. That's what YAG is. We're professional coattail riders.
We're not. We've never set out to be. That's when Rev and I when we first said, what would be fun is if we did a podcast together, because him and I have banter back and forth. It's fucking hilarious. I'm from the East, he's from the West. It's fucking, we have this. And when we were fucking around with each other, when we
deeply
first
love each
became
other,
friends,
you prick.
Exactly. Well, that happens too. When we fucking first fell in love, It is banter, but it's love. When we first started talking about it, don't bring Flam into this, Jesus.
That was an English accent. How dare you?
What? That doesn't matter.
English?
They're all
Push.
It was terrible either way.
So, but I don't want to. I'm not trying to toot my own here but literally, that's how we started. Rev and I literally started like, dude, what are we like? It would be fun. Like, I think people would listen to us with our fucking banter back and forth. That's literally how it started, in the back and forth. And then we had a couple episodes, and fucking Howling and Stoney came on, and it was like, it's never let me backpedal just a little bit before I bring Howling and Stoney in. It was like, we are nothing. I'm nothing. Rev is nothing. We are literally nobodies. So who are we to have a podcast and like preach this shit like and make people fucking listen to us? And I was like, we're just average fucking people. And average Joe, and then was like, dude, the average Grow came in to fucking and that's where it was. Like, we're your average fucking Joes, man. We're your average fucking people, and we just want everybody to feel average, man. We just want what this plant means. We want to put this plant into people's fucking hands. One of our first episodes was talked about that specific notion, autoflowers, and getting it into grandma's fucking hands. Like, it's a medicine. More people should have it. And that's what Yag started as a podcast, yes, but it became a fucking movement as far as I'm concerned. I hate to toot my own horn, but that's literally what it's. I've made more friends off of Yag than I have through 9 years in the fucking military, 11 years in fucking a corporation. That fucking, I have made more true friends, people that I can call friends, and like, I've bonded with more people over this plant because of fucking what we're doing here, and just trying to preach that very notion. Was we're average, man. It's not, oh, I'm sponsored, so this is how you do it because I've got a sponsorship from fucking Mars Suck a Dick. Fuck that, man. Like,
I will take a sponsorship from anyone named Suck a Dick, though. We need to stop sucking our own dick now, Johnny.
We did.
For the love of God. Moving on. Christ almighty, you just gave the history of Yag to people listening to the podcast.
I'm sorry, that was dumb.
No, I love it dearly. I thought so. Now,
sorry for my rant, everyone.
I did want to talk about something that Alebrije mentioned earlier, not on the podcast, so it means nothing to you listening. But on Discord, he said that he wanted you to dry and save your roots, Howling. And I agree. I would like you to explain what in the shit is going on with that monster.
That half-gallon monster.
I need more backstory here.
No, so it's a plant on my tray to grow, and they all like the roots low, since it has the copper sheets. The roots like to kind of just spread outwards, and I don't know why this thing has like an inch thick mat of roots under it. It is solid in there. It is a whole base that it grew, because otherwise that plant was going to fall over. It's in a tiny little half-gallon pot, but that root, I tried moving it. It's embedded in there. It is. I'll probably have to ditch the whole matting system that it's on. It is growing. It is grown outwards and into the mat, and then now the roots are coming out and trying to make its way into the valve. And about every 3 days or so, I have to go in there and rip them all out. I mean, like, I just ripped out a chunk today. It's like, just stop. One of these days, I'm gonna have that like flood in my room because the roots got in there. It's a beast. It is be pretty. I think that's a pretty cool idea. If I could try to dislodge it a bit without ruining the whole mat and just let it dry out, that'd be kind of cool.
Hell yeah, I want it for like a canvas.
Yeah,
this thing is like a nice big chunky
like
mat of roots.
It's like something you could spray with like epoxy or something.
Yeah, totally.
You have to, because like as it dries up, it's going to turn brown. Exactly. Yeah. So it's something you're going to want to like after a day or two, as it like just dry enough you hit it with a fucking coat of like
I'll have to think about that because
polyurethane or fucking epoxy, just like a quick light coat just to preserve it.
Maybe something like that. I'll have to research that a little bit because it's going to be
Badger. Badger's probably the dude to talk to.
Yeah.
Which Fino is that again, Howling?
That's the H. That is the.
What plant was that? Because you did not mention that in your story.
It is the rainbow guava No. 5 cut crossed with tangy tibaguana,
and I wonder who's responsible for that.
Oh, I don't know.
That's the F4 generation.
It has a beautiful structure. That was the one where I was growing it in the other tent with the C Fino. And I'm like, I got to move this chick. Like, once I gave her some room, she just started opening up. I'm like, I gave this chick more room somewhere. And she does. She just opens up and is a beast in that half gallon. I'm doing her dirty a little bit because she's under 12. And it definitely shows. Like, it's slowing down. And she was gasping for some nitrogen. Sometimes I get a plant that just really wants more nitrogen, and she wants it. The C Fino does not want nitrogen at all. No, super green leaves. So that was a little different, but yeah, it just branched out and formed this like nice little bush, and she's doing wonderful. It has the purples coming in. I just posted some pictures today. Yeah,
beautiful.
It's beautiful, and it has that citrus mango-ish type funky scent coming from it.
So I harvested 30 of them today amongst the 11 different phenotypes of the F4. Yeah, I'm preparing to go on vacation, and I way over planted. And
I was gonna say, how did you find time to join us tonight, dude? What'd you start yesterday?
This morning at 8 a.m. I was shoveling mulch out of my truck. I mowed the lawn today. I harvested 30 plants. I've been cleaning the house. We have people staying in our house for 2 weeks to take care of the animals while we're gone, so it's
what a way to ruin such a productive day.
Vacations are so nice, but it really sucks preparing to be gone for 2 weeks when you run a small homestead with animals and things. It's a nightmare. Anyway,
I just real quick, I say that all the time about camping specifically, and there's like a culture of campers and they're toe behind fucking camper hauler. It's like, you motherfuckers do so much work to fucking relax. It's ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
Sorry. Continue.
No, I mean, my real point was that amongst those 11 phenotypes, or the offspring of the 11 seed mothers, I found a lot of different variations, different physical features, but all were very much in the same realm as far as the terps went. All pretty much had the fat resin heads I was looking for, at least on the primary handful I'm really looking at. But the flavors were fucking nice. It was everything from grape and lemon Skittles to some orange creamsicle push pops, and then a lot of funk on the back end. There's some heavy chorizo notes, and then just some fermented funky fruit notes, and some had a very oniony. My wife thought I had chopped scallions yesterday after I was chopping some yesterday too. Some are very oniony, garlic, in there, but this is all combined. Obviously it's weed, it's all very nuanced, but that was the aromas I was picking up all day. It was nice to just get the general profile in a room full of them.
Yeah, definitely funky fermented fruit for both of them. They grew differently. The bud shapes are different. You would think that they were not even the same strain, even just, I know they're different phenos, but you would think they're entirely different strains just by how they look. But yeah, they all have that same character, the fermented funky fruit, which I like quite a bit.
How wonderful. I just harvested I've got to go first since we're on the subject. My apology. I just harvested mindless quain.
Ooh, nice.
And I also had chopped Queen's Banner at the same time, but luckily 2 different tents, so I was able to kind of get a whiff. But I smelled straight sweet tarts on mindless quain. Very sweet, sugary sweet. It was wonderful.
Hell yeah.
So
Love
I'm
that.
very excited to smoke that eventually.
And your eggnog's coming down soon too, right?
Yeah, this weekend I think I'm bringing her down, and she is the one I think I'm most excited for.
Nice.
Because it's so unique. And she just went beast mode for some reason. And that, like, the one I did not expect to go the biggest went the biggest. So I was very happy. But yeah, I'm getting a lot of like cinnamon spice.
Oh, nice.
And
you knew I was gonna ask. Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
And Ganick was telling me that he got 2 phenos. He got one that was cinnamon and one that was more eggnog. And so I'm curious, based on the other 2 smoke reports that were in your Discord that I can't remember the names of completely. I'm sure it'll come to me, but they both got kind of more of the eggnog on the smoke. So I'm curious where mine will be when I finally get around to smoking it.
Well, we'll be looking forward to your report.
Yeah, I'm very excited because it was unique. Like, it stood completely unique out of that tent. And I'm excited. There was, in my night out tent, there was a little bit of like a coffee smell for a few days, and that blew me away. But I kind of got used to it, I think, which is unfortunate because the first time I straight up was like, "Holy shit, I'm in a coffee shop." But I kind of got used to it, unfortunately.
It's fun finding new aromas. I had a Cosmic Queen from Daz himself in this last run. And it was the most peach I've ever smelled on a strain. And I was stoked about that. Obviously, peaches are near and dear to me. And so it was really cool, like, getting that peach aroma. That was actually one I was like, I shared a picture the other day, allegedly driving it out to a Gorilla Grow. And it was the one that was like making me real nervous. I was like, fuck, I better not get pulled over.
Yeah, not right now.
This Cosmic Queen is a dead giveaway. It was like in full maturity. It's got,
of course.
It was a self-seeded. So I wanted those seeds to finish. They're not going to finish in time before we leave. So I had to go like drop them at the Gorilla for a couple weeks. But yeah, it was a nerve-wracking little drive.
Yeah, that was hell yeah. In your Discord, the people who gave that smoke report were Shappy and SR71.
Not on the cord.
So,
shout out to those guys.
Yeah, they were very well written, and so I'm very excited to smoke it. But the next one I'm playing, I'll let Johnny go in a second. I'm just greedily stealing the time, but I've got Indios Verdes and Grateful's cross of that, and the tester coming up. Sunny, why am I
Tibuwawa?
Yeah, there you go.
So
I'm very excited about that. Yeah.
I'm very excited. I can't wait for you. Those were some of the other ones I had to drive out to the property the other day. Just because I had started them. I need to just see where they finish. I'm going to do a much bigger test run this summer. The Sunny Tibuwawa is very much in test mode, so it's not.
What were you getting when you were? I mean, I'm sure it was hard to compare with the story you just told, but
okay. So like those are in like early flower. The other seeded moms with the Cosmic Queen were in like later flower. So I'm not getting tons of terps yet, but I did get some pine on one, which I was really happy about because that's what the mom was like, super cypress, fresh pine. It was high strangeness from Ronin Gardens.
Hell yeah.
And I was so stoked. Pine is like my favorite aroma just in general, not only in cannabis. I find it so refreshing and just delicious.
Do you really?
Yeah, I think part of it goes back to like just Christmas as a kid, and just like those fresh Christmas tree smells just
makes sense.
Bring positive vibes. But I also think it's the nature of pining the terpene. I think it's just like it opens your lungs, you breathe better. It's very like relaxing and uplifting, and it's a very calming kind of chill terp. And I just a lot of fond memories hiking in the woods. And
I was going to say, it reminds me very much of pine forest, like around me, and hiking there. And it is something that is wonderful. And it is kind of also very rad that that's your favorite, but almost all of your plants have this really great, funky, fruity, like the really like different flavors that you're seeking, so you don't get 100% shaped by just your desire. Like you also are like, I want to see something cool. So that's pretty rad.
And I would say, like, I even mean more so that pine is like my favorite in general. Like, I don't even think it's my favorite within cannabis specifically. It's fun to find. I don't find it enough, honestly. But I also did have a good freak show auto I harvested today that was very fresh pine. That was really nice. I was trying to work a project with that, but the male was sterile, so I got no seeds. But I'm stoked to smoke it. It's been
Really?
I haven't grown a freak show since like 2017, so it's fun. If you haven't grown one, fine. There's so many different crosses out there now that'll show the freak traits. That it's just different, unique experience. And Johnny, I was thinking when you were talking earlier about just like the work of autos and stuff, I was thinking that freak show today when I was harvesting, it was like, looks more like a fern than it does a weed plant. It smells this one today smelled very piney and minty. It didn't, like, cannabis wouldn't hit you in the face if you didn't know you were looking for it. And like the dead giveaway for people that don't really know what cannabis looks like are just the traditional leaves. So when you don't see those leaves, it's like you could easily get away growing some of these outside in your garden in illegal states. And they're very very elongated buds. They're not super dense. So it's, again, like anti-mold kind of strain too for these short season, high humidity kind of areas like yours and mine.
Yeah, without the leaf structure. Yeah, without the leaf structure.
The buds too. The buds aren't like super dense either. So it seems like it would work out really well in a lot of like illegal states, honestly. I was thinking about that today. I was like, there's something here for sure.
So I have some freak show from Sterling. He had done some shit in Arkansas, I think he's from. But he's got like it kind of makes me want to. So I have a bunch of
New
dudes
Mexico,
who are always
for the record.
New Mexico. Yeah, by the way, sorry, New Mexico. You're right.
Slightly different.
I have dudes that come to me every spring for their outdoor runs. Like, they know that I'm the fucking grower. I'm the fucking dude who's gonna see I'm the guy, right? Like, so they come to me and they buy plants ready to go outdoors. It's tough to, as much as I want to sell them, it's like, I take these autoflower seeds, dude. I'm telling you, this is the best fucking route to go. Take these autoflower seeds. I got last year, the best fucking guy I have comes to me every single year, reaches out early on every single year. Last year, he was like, dude, that shit last year was amazing. I am definitely, as soon as you're ready, let me know. We'll fucking get it going. It was tangy. He grew that remember that fucking dude who grew that outdoor tangy?
Yeah, hell yeah.
That was him, man. He's my biggest fucking dude. Like, he loves the shit that we produce in this fucking community. And last year it was fucking tangy.
Hell yeah.
Dude, like, yeah, with the I forget the name. The Freak Show. Dude, if Freak Show could fucking help in that, yeah, maybe I will fucking plan some Freak Show and fucking do that this year as our outdoor fucking run. But no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say both the photo period and autoflower versions I've grown. I've had males of both and females of both right next to each other. All sterile. Never gotten any seeds.
No shit.
If you're just growing for flower, fantastic. I was very disappointed both times.
So how are they? Do you figure they're reversing?
I mean, I know that's what like technically a triploid is meant to be. Is it like it'll produce pollen technically, but it won't. It'll be sterile.
Right.
And on both cases, both the photo period and the auto, mine, like, I literally had to like crush the sacs, like, completely different. It's mostly just like anthers coming out. They're not tucked in sacs really. But I've always had to literally crush them to even like see a little bit of pollen on my hand. It doesn't dump any into the wind or anything at all.
So how are we reproducing Freak Show then?
So I'm sure there's some that are not sterile, or I don't know if a reversal would work. But mine were regs. Mine were both regs. So I don't. Right. I actually don't know that much about what it takes to breed a triploid, and I'm not really that interested, honestly. I don't,
it's not worth the
it's
time.
not worth my.
We're not there.
Attention.
Like this might be a 15-year. We might be the fucking Todd McCormicks in the fucking future going, these fucking triploids and fucking stupid bullshit. We might be those guys here in 15 fucking years. But like, we're not there yet. The shit doesn't make sense yet.
Well, to my understanding, the whole purpose of people creating triploids these days is for them to be sterile and for big commercial grows. So you're not getting seeds.
I was going to say
that'll never be
there's
me.
Slight difference between an auto, of course, and a triplet.
It's like a store-bought.
I'm okay with being
tomato.
anti-staling sterile seeds so that you can hold a fucking market share on it. Like, that's not cool.
I've had a pretty fair amount of offers for commercial farms to buy big amount of seeds, and I've said no every time. I have no interest. I wasn't going to be charging much per seed when they're looking to buy 10,000 or whatever, but I'm just not interested. I cater to the community. I cater to the small home grower. That's what I'm in it for. That's what I'm doing. So I want to create what grows well for my people, tent growers, it's awesome when you can do them outdoors. I would be doing them a lot more outdoors if I could legally.
If you weren't risking freedom.
Right, I wasn't risking my freedom in this free
as much
country.
as we want to get this plant in everyone's hand, freedom is obviously the most important.
But anyway, I'm in it for the home grower. I don't care about the commercial side. I don't want to be buying my weed from a dispensary. I want to be growing it myself. So that's what I'm.
It's funny you fucking mentioned that because I got a tattoo on Saturday, and the owner of the shop was the dude who tattooed me, and he's getting into...
So you became a eunuch and got a tattoo in the same week?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I did.
Jesus,
and
rough life.
My lovely wife tried talking me out of. So on Tuesday,
your wife tried to talk
you
out of the tattoo, and you still went ahead with it.
100%. So on Tuesday, I had the surgery. On Saturday, I got a tattoo. So she's like, "You're still reschedule. We'll reschedule." I was like, "It's fine. It's a minor surgery." And shout out Paranoid Grower. Shout out BGG, because the surgery I had was a hernia surgery, and I'll come back to the point I was trying to make. Fucking ass. I love you. I'll come back to the point I was talking about, but the surgery it's just a hernia surgery, and Paranoid said he had 2 of them, and he got really nauseous and upset with the pharmaceutical option that they offer you coming out of that surgery. He said, "I promise you, don't do it." The second surgery I had, all I did was RSO for a couple of days, and I fucking like some Tylenol or shit. And that's exactly what I did. Just force some Tylenol every time I did this. Like, I'm in a little bit of fucking pain. So she forced me to take like just a simple Tylenol. I took 1 fucking Tylenol and RSO. So on Tuesday, I had the surgery. RSO really late, almost fucking probably like 1 o'clock Wednesday morning. RSO that day, RSO again throughout Wednesday. By Thursday, no more RSO. Literally, I took a couple Tylenols and I haven't had shit since but fucking caffeine and my normal fucking consumption. And edibles. I asked her to bake me some fucking cookies with the same shit that put my dog down for the same fucking 5 days I was down. So I said, "Could you make me some chocolate chip cookies?" So it was literally chocolate chip cookies and RSO from fucking BGG. It's literally what got me through that surgery, and some fucking Tylenol. I literally took the Vicodin they gave me and threw them the fuck out. But anyways, that's fucking awesome to fucking have experience. But I do have I go through a lot of pain. So I'm not saying it's for everybody. I can endure a lot of fucking pain. I can suck some shit up. It worked for me. It worked for Paranoid. There's options out there. Let's just say that. I forgot I was supposed to circle back. God damn it. And I forgot what I was circling back to. Anyways, I can't circle back to those two things, but I do remember the two things that I wanted to bring up since we have Alebrije here. One of them specifically related to Rev's garden. So when he interrupted my question there, I was absolutely happy for him to interrupt because he went in to talk about his garden. My question specifically relates around the idea of listing lacefully to the left. How did that turn out? What was the idea behind that specifically? Like, Rev, how did that work out? Like, switching tents between your night owl and Alebrije. Have we noticed a difference, like listing lacefully to the left?
Yes and no. So I believe you're talking about the experiment where I grew but two of the same plant in two different containers. Okay. I want people to realize how amazing
where
it
you
is that I
switched
speak
your
Johnny.
Alebrije and your night owl tent.
Yes.
Because remember one of them, so we had to list lacefully to the left as the only way I could fucking put it.
You thought anybody was going to get that. I appreciate it. It is true that
I mentioned it at least.
I got you, brother.
Once.
I got you, brother. Yes. So what we found was at first when I switched it to the night owl tent, it blew up. She was that last. Why can't I not remember? What did I plant? It was
Tangy RBX.
Yes, the RBX. And the one on my night owl tent was bigger. And it was kind of had like the same growth in my Alebrije tent that I always get. That's that same type. However, this round, the smallest of my containers and the eggnog surprise blew up and touched the light almost. So I don't know. I think it has something to do with temperature. It's something minor, something I can't quite figure it out. I've switched lights. I mean, their tents are set up the same. There's a 6-inch freaking what can I not think? A 6-inch duct between them two, connecting the environments. Like, they're very similar, but
It's amazing. I use a lot of like similar equipment in different tents, but every single one has like a slightly different environment and grow pattern.
Yeah, it's like it gets its own ecosystem.
It really does, and it's hard to explain sometimes. Yeah.
Plants, man, the plants themselves are creating that fucking environment. That's the only thing I can come up with. Like I was just gonna ask that, Rev, because you said they're like literally they're sharing the same 6-inch dunk. They're sharing the same fucking. It's like I have that with my 4x4s. They have the same 8-inch fucking dunk between the two of them. I have an 8-inch fucking inline for my intake. Now they exhaust differently. So I try to like have them maintain, but their intake is relatively the same. But when it comes down to it, I cannot maintain these tents similar to one another at all. With one tent right next to each other, I have to completely maintain them differently, no matter what the fuck is going on. It's like the plants also help create their own fucking environment sometimes. It's fucking weird.
Yeah. I found that's why I have a 6-inch exhaust fan in both of my tents. And they're only 2x4s, so I could have gone smaller, but I like to cycle the air, right? Like I have fans constantly moving. But I found that if I didn't, one tent on my right would become a humidity nightmare, and trying to control that with one fan or something and having them. So the only thing that connects them is just a duct between, just to somewhat equalize it, right? But yeah, you really have to treat it plant by plant. Like I had so much plant mass in Alebrije's tent that the humidity was a fucking nightmare. So I had to fucking go heavy on the fans, man.
It's just fun. It is weird, man. It's weird that it's got to be the plants adding to their own environment. Like, I don't know, giving off what they need to fucking give off to try and help them based on, I don't know, man, dude. Plants are smarter than we are. That's the only thing I can fucking.
I certainly would like to see how you try and quantify that.
on
I'm not
on all
gonna.
these on all these tangy rainbows that I had in various different tents, which again, a lot of it had the same equipment, but like certain tents would the whole thing, I'd have C, F, and B phenos in that one, and then in 3 different others, and they would finish together as a tent more than they would the different phenos in the different tents. They were like definitely this, the speed in general was like very much dependent on their little microclimate.
It is super cool. And I'm the last one, Johnny. I was very curious.
No, the last note I will make based on that, like, look at whales. Like, whales have been around.
The country or the animal?
The animal.
Okay.
Like, they're a fucking
You look
dinosaur.
at those Welsh.
They're a dinosaur, and they're surviving happier than human beings are. We're struggling. We're doing all this shit. They've been around a lot longer. They communicate better. They've got the shit figured out better than we do. So, like, how can plants not? Because plants have been around even fucking longer than all of that. So the notion that plants don't have this shit figured out and us as stupid fucking human beings coming in and trying to manipulate this situation is literally what's happening. Like, they're going, all right, you dumb motherfucker, here we go. So, like, this tent has this, and I've adapted to, it's just fucking.
I agree with what you're saying. They are definitely way better at deciding what they want to do, how they want to live, right? They know what's best for them.
Yeah.
I just don't know how you quantify intelligence in a plant versus a person or a whale. I just want to see how you describe that, man.
Intelligence in a plant versus intelligence in a whale. The communication network, man. The fungal.
Happiness.
Happy? I don't care.
How do you quantify happiness in a whale, man? I want to know if you ask him, if he says it. But
I've seen some whales humping, and as far as I'm concerned, vagina is the best thing on the fucking planet. And if whales can hump, that's what makes them happy. And I've seen whales humping, so that's how I can quantify happiness. So I don't know how plants actually do hump with males, and them fucking. We talk about it all the time, how they fucking sperminate the fucking females. What's the difference between a male plant coming on a female plant and us doing the same? Look, let me put it like this real quick before I ask my last question. Ducks and chickens, they're both fowl. They are both birds. A rooster does not penetrate a chicken when he fertilizes a chicken. A chicken does not get penetrated by a male. Just
no,
like
they
flower.
do a Coaca kiss.
Coaca kiss. Thank you, English major Rev. Ducks, on the other hand, penetrate. So ducks penetrate like humans. They penetrate and fertilize similar to a human. So literally, what is the difference between a plant, a whale, and a human? We are all the fucking same.
Johnny, can I ask what you're smoking?
Banana runts, actually.
Interesting. I'm going to stop you there because I don't know what was happening anymore.
Did I
look forward to the comments.
Right tangent?
I look forward. Right, don't go hard right ever. Never go hard right, Johnny.
Well, if I go hard left, I'm going to have to dye my hair blue.
That's interesting.
One more question.
Yes.
Since he's here.
If you start, so help me God, into getting reproductive about plants, I'm going to have to stop you there.
No, I'm over it. I want to talk about tangy because since I have 8 of them growing in one specific tent. Tangy specifically, when Howling was talking about his plant, he mentioned specifically fruity and funky. And I think that's what you generally are known for, specifically fruity and funky. Now, when I think about fruity and funky, it can go multiple ways. But when I think about tangy specifically, the funky I get from that is one specific note, and I'm dying to know if you agree. I think it's garlic.
I think I know the one. I think there's different phenos out there, but I know the one you're talking about, and I think it's the same reason in these tangy rainbows I was getting these onion garlic. I think it's totally in that funk realm. For me, a lot of the phenos are very grapefruit forward. This most recent one I just chopped today was very grapefruit dominant, and it dominated
always.
It's 10. I couldn't smell anything else when I'd open it. It was just that grapefruit tangy.
And that funk, though.
But some I get a lot more funk. Again, it's these like little microclimates give me like different expressions. But I know that I'd agree with garlic. I can get behind that for sure.
What do you think, Stoney? With tangy, when you get tangy with the funk, do you get any garlic note from tangy?
I get a green grassy vegetal note to it. So if I were to lean into any garlic, it would be maybe like a garlic scape, but it's very sweet. It's very green and grassy and vegetal, and I think that's where I lean.
So more oniony.
I would go more grassy. So like green grass,
Bitter.
not cut grass. No, like just bright, floral, vibrant, grassy.
All right.
Like, not cut grass. So not like your lawnmower, like lay down in a field and you get that sort of green vegetal note to come through. It's a sweet floral versus like an assaulting, like garlic
not
is
the bitter of a fresh mow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm tracking. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Howling? What kind of notes do you get from tangy funk?
Definitely not onion or garlic. Earthy, vegetal in the back end, yeah. And maybe that's what mostly, but no onion or garlic.
Interesting.
We're kind of disappointed.
What about you, Padre? What's your take?
I almost always get grapefruit, citrus, but more of an alcohol, like a funky alcoholic. Like the first time was like if you got a really, really tropical drink the night before and you let it sat all night and then you smelt it the next morning. That's was the first time that I really smelled tangy.
That's beautiful.
I've gotten all your descriptions I've experienced.
I would imagine you've grown every fucking version of her.
Yeah, and I mean it's also just the neat part of cannabis is that there are the same seeds, the same generation will provide a lot of expressions in a lot of different environments. It's also a very personal thing. Your aromas and what you pick up and what you pay attention to out in the world is what you're going to translate into describing that smell. Rev, clearly former alcoholic.
I was going to say, probably the most common thing that I've smelled, that alcohol thing. But it also
Stoney
depends.
Always climbing mountains, says it smells like a field of grass.
Fair enough.
It's very much, your sense of smell is a very personal thing, tied to your memory, tied to your experience in this world. And I think that's what makes it so fun.
One thing everyone, all right, I won't speak for everyone. One thing I can say, all right, Bubblegum Queen is my favorite fucking terp ever. Whatever that is absolutely amazing. Right behind that is Tangy Tibaguana. She's my favorite smoke. She's my favorite plant to grow. She's my favorite smell as she's growing. And when you are growing a Tangy Tibaguana, at least in my house, and I'm going to pass this back around one more time. When I'm growing Tangy Tibaguana, you fucking know you're growing Tangy Tibaguana. When she's growing, she is fucking loud. No matter what terpene profile you get, that bitch screams in your nose. Stoney, would you agree?
Yes, but I've become so accustomed to it because I think I've had one growing for like a year and a half.
Oh, there it is. Always have one in the garden.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine I'm slightly nose blind because I've always got a tangy in the garden, and I have since pretty much. Yeah, I would say. Yeah, at least a year and a half. Yeah.
No shit. What about you, Holly? You've taken a break from tangy at least once or twice, right?
Yeah, I probably have grown tangy the least. No, I don't think it gets too. I'm terrible at this. Like, I think nothing smells, and then everyone is like, "Oh, did you have the tents open? It's fucking loud in this house," and I smell nothing. I don't know why that is. So I'm not a good judge of this. Yeah,
That's why I asked this question around the like, who the fuck am I to fucking speak for everybody? That's why I ask these questions. Like, it's weird because like if I open my tent with a tangy in it, everybody in the house goes, "What the fuck just happened?" Like, we know something happened, at least around here. And I've grown at least with the auto flowers. The photo periods, on the other hand, I'm struggling to find that same pheno that I experience with the autos. But
we're gonna find it. I've got multiple
find her.
options that you can hunt through if you do not find it in this round.
We'll find her. Of that, I am sure somebody is gonna fucking find her or something. But no, she's just loud, man. It's not like I know you're on here and I'm not tooting anybody's horn. I'm not doing anything. When I have a tangy Tibuguana autoflower in my fucking grow space, I know I have a fucking tangy Tibuguana in my fucking grow space. And everybody in a 2-acre fucking space around this house knows there's fucking cannabis growing when I have that plant specifically. It doesn't matter how big or how fucking small she ended up being because of me. She's always been fucking loud.
So I will say I might not smell it in the air too well, but you remind me like 2 days ago I was in the tent with the half-gallon tangy rainbows, and the sweatshirt I'm wearing right now, it's a long sleeve and it brushed past the plant. I didn't know it until I left the tent. I'm like, what the fuck is that smell? And I barely even touched the plant, and it was the whole sleeve. I was like, oh, I can't take the kid to the bus stop. What the hell? So yeah, it is.
One I really like about the tangy rainbows, it's got a lot of the similar tangy Tibuguana qualities, but I think and it also has the rainbow guava they had a lot of overlap in their fruity and funkiness, but I think I won't say the tangy improved the rainbow guava because I didn't turn it into a photo, but I think the tangy rainbows made that terp profile like more intense. It's still fruity and funky, but it's heavier, and it comes with this very like, a lot of them have this like umami quality about it. When I smell it, my mouth just starts like salivating, and you want to eat whatever it is you're smelling, which is a really odd, unique thing with a flower. But
yeah, hell yeah.
But I'm really liking where it's landing. But Tangy, the original Tangy, is thanks to you guys. You made it a crowd favorite. But it's my pride and joy of my auto work, I would say. The dog walker was my first, or the Star Dog photo period conversion was my first like photo to auto, and then this Tangy Rainbows is my second. But of all the just auto to auto stuff, I'm most proud of Tangy Tibuguana because it wasn't even using any of like the big top dogs like Night Owl or Mephisto or Rockbud or any of these guys. It was an Ethos Sweet crossed to a Durban Sunrise from 2020 Mendocino. That was Juicy Ahaloro, and then I crossed that to an Amnesia Haze from who was it? Royal Queen Seeds. So a couple European things and some other just random autoflowers, but I'm really proud with what I created from that. I think I improved on the plants that I had grown out, which should be the goal in breeding.
Oh yeah, one quick correction though. Time out. We didn't do shit. All we did was talk about how good the something you created was. We don't get any credit for that.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that.
Well, you at least get credit for its name just being Tangy now. No one calls it Tangy Tibuguana. You guys have just talked about Tangy so many times, and it's always just Tangy. Tangy.
See, all the change that we inspire in this world is awful and lazy. It is just we've taken a beautiful name.
I do hate to say that. I do hate that happened though, because my old man said he got some Tangy from somebody else. I was like, bitch,
That's tangy. Yeah.
That is not tangy. That is not fucking tangy. Tibu guana. You're talking about something fucking different. And I think to credit you, it needs tangy tea. We need to fucking change it. It needs to be tangy tea because tangy should not be confused with anybody else. That bitch is special, just like my Jersey girl, my black lab. Tangy holds a special place in my heart, just like my Jersey girl, my black lab.
I'm certainly glad you didn't mention your wife after that.
No, listen, my wife and the dog that got into the garbage and got stoned for 5 fucking days. I love them, but they don't hold the same special spot that Jersey and Tangy do. Okay.
Well, on that note, I do have one ridiculous question to ask, and then I will get everybody out of here. This one is inspired by something. You guys have to guess what this is inspired by. It's like a two-parter. We'll start with Johnny Apple, my dear friend. What is your favorite Greek food?
Euros.
Okay, that's a two blanket, dude. I'm afraid that there's going to be a couple people who might suggest something like
lamb, Sazaki
okay.
sauce, and a fucking
what did you just call that?
With Sazaki.
Close.
Tzatziki.
Yeah, tzatziki. I like it. I thought I heard something different. I thought it was wildly off. You're good.
All right. Well,
you said tzatziki.
I read it. It's not something I heard. I read it. And
no, you did a very good job.
Says when you read something, yeah, thank you. But yeah, no. So this happened because of Germany. I don't know if the doner kebab, I don't know if that's Greek.
No.
It's general like Mediterranean.
Yeah, Mediterranean.
That's what introduced me to the Mediterranean food with a fucking Greek with lamb wrapped in a fucking.
I believe there have been wars fought over whether it's called the Euro.
A little bit of just a little bit of lettuce, lettuce, rabbit food.
Do you do the pickled onions and such?
No.
Okay.
Some simple. I like the lamb meat. I actually quite enjoy lamb. Yeah. Anyway,
Greek food is the reason that I think I first tried lamb, and I was very thankful because I had a negative, like I was like, I don't want to eat lamb, and then I ate it, and I was like, hell yeah, lamb.
More lamb,
this
please.
Is delicious. Yeah, exactly. All right, Howling.
Well, Euros are definitely top of my list, but I'll pick something different.
Lamb too. You can give us your flavor of meat too.
I'm gonna go. So the question was favorite Greek food.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll go with Avgo Lemano soup.
Okay.
Which is just like a lemon egg drop.
Very
soup.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's very good. I like how refreshing it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You should probably answer, Rev, before the chefs do.
No. Mine's simple. Mine's Euro, dude. You give me a lamb Euro, but I do mine. See, here's where people are going to dislike me because I'm not a huge cucumber fan. So the type of tzatziki matters a lot because some motherfuckers put really, really, really thin tzatziki cucumbers in there and it kind of blends, which is good. Some people do the little tiny cubed bits, which I find atrocious because I cannot avoid them. But usually I make my own tzatziki.
You're a texture guy. You always have been.
I am super into it's like my nightmare is texture ruins things often. It's like the little giblet there, and when you're eating chicken and you get a cartilage bit. Oh, sorry. Euro, lamb Euro. That's my simple with tzatziki. I could do that all day long, or any of their chicken dishes. Really, like lemon chicken's bomb. But now to the two that are going to make everything we said sound like gobbledygook. We'll start with Stoney and let Alebrije take us out. Stoney.
Since he is going to Greece, you should probably follow it up with him. I love it.
Yeah.
I love how it's almost like we're professional. Just so you know, we suck at this. It just happens to look like we're good at it.
You don't got to tell them. They know.
A solid tzatziki sauce. Handmade Greek yogurt. Full fat, as much fat as I can get into it of the yogurt. Grated or actually microplaned if you've got a big large microplane on the cucumber. And then to me, just like the ripe fresh dough, pink peppercorns into it, a little bit more so than black peppercorns. And then the key is to, as you're kind of like right in the very last minute, right before you're about to serve it, you just kind of whip in a really, really light, delicate Greek finishing olive oil. So not like a cooking one, but like a very light, and you almost whip it into it in the really last minute of it. And if you do it just right, and then you let that settle, it'll almost like really good Greek yogurt will reset back up. And then you can just almost take like a giant dollop out onto a plate, a little bit more olive oil into it, and then give me some crusty, chunky bread. Give me some sort of flat bread. I won't go as far as to say pita, but just some sort of flat bread that I can roll and just slather tzatziki into. So that would be the key to my Greek food.
Thank you for sparing me that, Johnny. No, but see, if he microplanes it, he does that right though, because we won't get into my weird texture shit. That's nobody's business. Alebrije, my dear friend.
Mine's similar. I mean, I like their mezde that they do, their little mixed, appetizers, tapas type thing, where it's a bunch of small little stuff with pita bread, and it'd be what you guys all said, tzatzikis and hummus and baba ganoush, and even just like plain really good quality thick yogurt, and they do a fava bean and garlic kind of lemony dip, tiramisu salata, the one with carpra and things. They just have so many good dips with like a good fresh pita. That's my choice, and it's also light and refreshing, and it's just not, you never feel like gross or bloated or heavy at the end. It's always just very light.
Well, as part of your contract, when you get to Greece, you're gonna tag Yag in that specific plate from Greece.
Oh, I'm taking some of Charles Budkowski's stickers. You guys are gonna leave your mark on some very important monuments for sure. Parthenon.
That would bring me so much joy. Yeah, just ruin everything. No, what an absolute privilege it is to have you right before you jet set across the world to Greece. Like I said, man, you're one of my favorite creative types, so I'm excited to see what this spawns here in the future. But let's go around and see what anyone has to plug in their final super inspiring thoughts, the most important words of their life. Howling.
Not a thing.
God damn it. Stoney.
See you in September.
Brilliant. Johnny?
I'm gonna plug the man here himself. He fucking made an effort to help us out and help our financial burdens to this show. And Alebrije fucking made a awesome ass t-shirt with Chuck's fucking help. Thank you also, Charles Budkowski. Thank you guys for that, and thank you specifically for that shirt. Also, Nama Potter with the ashtrays. I think she still got some on her website. So we've got some Yag merch ashtrays. Alebrije, I think his shirt is now offline. So by the time you're hearing this, you're shit out of luck. You missed your opportunity. However, there might be still a few select handmade Yag ashtrays from Nama Powder. So shout out the Grateful Garden collection on namapotter.com.
Yes, and go buy some of her stuff because she lost some in a tragic wind accident, which sounds made up, but seriously, dude, a windstorm at a ceramic
out
display?
all her pottery.
I have a new fear, man. I didn't think about that. Like, that sucks.
Like literally wiping out your entire fucking
fucking wind. Damn you, nature. No, I'm just kidding. I want to also thank Alebrije. He's a dear friend. Thank you for the time. Thank you for. Is this number 8 or is this 9?
I think this is number 8, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, those are rookie numbers. We got to get those numbers up. You can have more fun conversations about how plants reproduce in ways that are far too graphic.
You guys have like a velvet jacket with 8.
Yeah, we got to do that.
Like, come on.
We'll get you something at for September. We'll do something.
This is as red as the carpet gets for you, my friend.
That's true. But seriously, thank you so much. And Alebrije, what do you have to plug?
Well, I just want to thank you guys. Shout out to all you do for the community, and I won one of your giveaways this week, so I'll give a special shout out to Uncle Bob. His cool ashtray. I didn't know he was a potter, and so he shared some of his other photos of his wood firing this week, and so very cool stuff. And thanks to you guys for hosting so many giveaways and just making the community a fun place to be.
Hell yeah. Uncle Bob's going to be a future guest. I'm stoked to have his ass on there.
Wait. Does he play D&D?
I figured you would ask, and so I have one response to that. Wait, I was going to